Yeah, fine. Yeah, fuck, you started, dumbass. You get crazy, you get punched. He's 19. I can tell I have a son. I'm a son myself. I'm 30. Yeah, I just gotta. Yeah, I'm tired. Yeah. This is dissolve eventually. God, it's uncomfortable. God. I walk really slowly, it sucks. It does. My dog! Sorry, I didn't see you there. Oh, there's you, baby now.
Something don't feel too good.
Citizens report 480 on Clinton Avenue.
Damn, Popo, shit. Man, only inches. That hurt. Shit. It's been...
Where are you, Mio? Oh my god! Oh my god! I am calling the police!
Citizens reporting 240 on Integrity Way. Suspect last seen on Integrity Way in Textile City.
Asshole. Now I've seen it all.
Jesus Christ!
You can just push people around? Disgusting.
Located in pursuit.
Don't call the police! Damn, you asshole! You gotta stop that! You stay out of this! I'll kill all you punks! Get in my way and you're dead! I got my boys on the way! Damn!
So he offers to bring Raditz back home if he's not going back with Roshi. Raditz tells him that he's going along the journey this time. There's no way he's letting his brother get another lead on him, even if it's a small one. So the two boys, with the power levels of over 1,000, begin to dismiss the single greatest militarized threat to civilization ever with ease in the search of their grandfather's Dragon Ball. This eventually takes them to the base of Karin's tower where they meet Bulma and Bora. But while both are strong enough to defeat Tao Pai Pai, that doesn't stop Bora from trying to handle the fight on his own, just as he did in the original, and this of course leads to his death. Goku and Raditz are quick to take down the assassin without the need of Karin's training, and Goku suggests they use the Dragon Balls to revive Uma's father. Raditz initially thinks it's a waste of time, but he does think it could be fun to fight more guys like the ones they've fought so far, so he agrees. Of course, this leads the pair to the Red Ribbon Army base. Once they arrive at the base, Raditz challenges Goku. Whoever beats up the most bad guys wins. Goku accepts, and the two take off into the base, going separate directions. Eventually, they both meet up at the commander's office and fight Commander Black. Once they defeat him, they decide neither gets the point for fighting him, and they realize they are both equal, both of them having beaten half the army each. Because of their competition, there were no survivors from the army. In the original, Goku defeated everyone in the army except the ones that ran away, and we all know how that went, don't we? Anyway, as they leave the army base, they realize they are one Dragon Ball short and meet up with the others. Bulma informs them that the radar isn't broken, so there must be something interfering with the signal. This leads to Mama's tournament, which goes pretty much unchanged up until the end. Goku and Raditz ask if they can take turns fighting the final fighter, since Goku got to fight the last two. She thinks they still stand no chance, so she allows it. After a game of rock, paper, scissors, they determine that Raditz will go first, and then Goku. Raditz feels strangely nostalgic during the battle, and he's even caught off guard by the Mystery Man's Kamehameha, getting knocked out of the ring in the process. Goku steps up next, and since he's prepared for the fighting style of his opponent, he's able to win with ease. Don't forget, Goku and Raditz both lost their tails, so there's no way for them to be exploited by the man who is clearly Grandpa Gohan. The reunion between brothers and their adopted grandfather is extremely heartwarming. It brings a tear to the eyes of those watching, and ultimately ends with Goku and Raditz looking forward to the next Tenkaichi Budokai. So Goku goes and grabs the final Dragon Ball quickly, and in the process defeats the Pilaf gang once again. They summon Shenron, revive Bora, and Goku catches the 4-star Dragon Ball as a memento. This time, Raditz feels like he understands why it's worth keeping it around. This is usually where Roshi would tell Goku to wander the world in pursuit of strength, but instead he suggests training this time. Not only will Goku and Raditz grow, but Krillin, Yamcha, and secretly Roshi himself will get stronger as well. So that's what they do for the next 3 years. By the time the tournament rolls around, Tenshinhan is just outclassed by everyone in the Turtles team. He actually loses to Roshi, who then lectures him similarly to how he did in the original series. Seeing the sheer power of the Turtles pool has him rethinking his ways, so he decides to wait and see if wins the tournament before making a decision about his future. The battle he witnessed first tournament and beating their training.
No way.
He does lose to Raven. That'll determine the title of strongest under the heavens and setting the stage for a potential future rematch. As the group get ready to leave, Goku asks Krillin if he can get the Dragon Ball and the Nyoibo from the tournament grounds. Krillin, of course, agrees, but at the arena, he meets none other than Tambourine. The moment that would mark the end of Krillin's life is here. Except Krillin has trained for 3 years with Goku and Raditz. While not being as strong as them, he's more than enough for Tambourine. After defeating the demons, Krillin grabs Goku's belongings and runs back to the group, informing them of what happened. Roshi instantly knows that this is the work of the Demon King Piccolo. Normally he'd be concerned, but the power they all have right now might be more than enough to handle this before it becomes an issue. Says it seems like the demon that attacked him was after the Dragon Ball. Goku and Raditz say they're going after him. Roshi nods but tells them if there's even a hint of trouble, they have to leave immediately. They agree and head off together on the Kendo Loop using the Dragon Radar to determine the location of the Demon King. When they arrive, Piccolo is of course just his old self and in no shape to handle beings with powers of over 1,000. Goku and Raditz understand the threat he poses, so they quickly kill him before he can even release an egg. The Demon King and Kami are both dead, but they didn't know about Kami to begin with. All they know is for some reason the Dragon Elder is still alive. Return to the group and inform them of the good news. Roshi is proud of how far his students have come, and they go to a celebratory dinner. After the meal, everyone trains together for the next 3 years. During that time, Roshi tells them they need to evolve their training style, so he sends them to Master Karen to train. So under the guidance of Grandmaster, the group will be more powerful than ever.
How'd they find me?
Somewhat. Karen does tell them the reason the
Government
turned to stone is the death of Kami and how they aren't sure his rule.
They told you I was here.
There's nothing any of them can do
I
at this point.
surrender!
This leads to the tournament, of course. Basically, fully worked. Meet Gigi again and agrees to marry her. The tournament progresses on and ends with Goku versus Roshi once again. The two are doing a great job keeping up with and countering each other. The one final divided out. Goku the arena at the same time. Raditz did the same. Both were knocked down and hit the ground at the same time. The tournament ends in a draw. The two brothers are too evenly matched and neither really need the win to validate their strength at the tournament, so they agree to leave it. So then we have a 5-year time skip to the Saiyan Saga. In that time, Goku and Gigi get married, Goku and Goku and Raditz train under Mr. Goku, after being recommended to him by Mr. Connor and Gigi. So during this period of time for a bit, though, they can only handle a month before they can get into work. The time skip ends with a reunion. Which was his high. Raditz is the one that knew Goku went to Earth in the original because Dine told him. This means Vegeta and Emma don't know nor did Kaido to pick up. Frieza never learned about the Dragon Ball and Namek and never destroyed it. Goku and Raditz's competition during the Red Ribbon Army Saga has confirmed that Mr. Zero didn't escape the destruction of the army itself, so there are no androids or cells that Frieza either, which doesn't even look good. It's hard to lay down what's like the future not to be slowly goes around the universe.
Got it.
And here, this book is the freedom
Look at that. What do you mean, man?
which is entirely a life of peace, isn't really strong enough to be abused as he's focused on becoming a scholar entirely. Goku and Raditz use what they learned in gravity training from a period of time, and multi-degree of gravity works for them to get stronger in during the same period of peace. There's no mere 10 levels of power at this point in the story, except that the matter of training with Supreme Kai and the Z-Force. Famously, Goku is the one to suggest testing the sword, so before they can go after Boo, the sword is actually broken and Elder Kai is freed. Raditz and Goku subsequently have their potentials unlocked, which allows them to perform much better in their upcoming battle. This doesn't make it an easy win, though. Double is a elite foe, and their years of peace have slowed down any potential gains from things like Zenkai and actual conflict. So, watching the Saiyans are able to save the day isn't without cost.
Got it again.
Supreme Kai and Vito doesn't make it an extension instead as well. Yes, of course, Elder Kai is alive, but he's not linked to Beerus anymore. I don't know why people think this when the series explicitly says he's linked to Shin, the current Supreme Kai, which actually makes sense. And that's it. Without Beerus, there's no threat to Earth if it doesn't have the Super Saiyan God. Frieza never comes to Earth in the first place. Paragus and Broly stay on Vampa. The two brothers live in peace for the rest of their days. A pretty happy ending for the people of Earth, if you ask me. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Thank you so very much for watching.
Got you, motherfucker. 3 times. Look at you, bitch.
On planet Vegeta, a young Saiyan was deemed a threat to the royal family and was to be banished by King Vegeta to planet Vampa, a desolate world that would surely result in the child's demise. However, the child's father, Paragus, was quick to find out about his son's exile, which allowed him to reroute the ship to planet Earth before it left. A much safer world where he could live on without the fear of death. The same could not be said for Paragus, though. His actions were taken as necessary, and he was to be executed for his crime. King Vegeta asked if there's any way to track the ship, and a technician
I come by accident. Shit. I didn't even do that.
Called Earth. King Vegeta isn't visibly angry, but there's no point in dwelling it. With Broly on world, he wouldn't be a threat to the royal family. Eventually, Broly lands in the forests of Mount Paozu, where an old hermit named Son Gohan finds him and takes him in his zone. The landing was brought with Broly's hidden head.
Oh, shit. Oh.
Nothing. Saiyan's door is he as aggressive as he would be otherwise.
Got you,
However,
fucker.
one morning, Broly wakes up a bit too early. The moon is still in the sky, and he looks at it, transforming into the mighty Ozaru. Luckily for Grandpa Gohan, the moon soon set.
Oh, killed him.
Broly's resting power level is 920, meaning his Ozaru form would be 9,200. Luckily, he didn't destroy Vampa in the original timeline when in his Ozaru form, so he probably wouldn't destroy Earth either. Despite Grandpa Gohan warning Broly to avoid the full moon, another accident would have been.
Look at that, fucker.
Broly is 5 years older than Goku. So 5 years have passed since Broly was sent to Earth, and back on planet Vegeta, all the Saiyans were called to return to the planet at once, resulting in the largest gathering of Saiyans in years. This made Bardock extremely suspicious, however, Gine put Bardock's suspicions to rest, causing him to give up on sending Goku away. Unfortunately for them, it wouldn't be long before Bardock was shown to be right, and despite his best efforts to rebel, he gets destroyed with the rest of the Saiyans. Goku never becomes Goku because he was born. Years until almost finding 17-year-old Broly over the mountains and for a small home in a Dragon Ball. At 17 years old, he basically told like Goku was only shorter than his mortality. He also he Goku.
Ha, pitch got you.
Simplicity, I'll be calling him Broly in the narration, but just know his name would be Goku in the story. From here, things play out the same for the most part. When they save Turtle and meet Roshi, Broly receives the Kento Rune, Flying Nimbus and the Dove, and Bulma acquires the Dragon Ball.
Y'all pissed off, I bet. Stop playing more, son. Sorry, bitches.
Defiance in the face of someone far more powerful than himself. The journey to Fire Mountain. Sting and Chi-Chi, they plead to have their castle saved, and Broly throws a powerful punch to blow fire out without requiring Roshi's help.
What?
Chi-Chi newfound interest in Broly, but not in the way you'd expect. That doesn't matter for now.
Oh,
as the
shoot,
heroes
Eddie.
continue their journey, leaving the king and princess behind. Now it's time for Pilaf's battle, where Bulma and Broly are trapped with the sleeping gas. Broly's punches are far stronger than Goku's Kamehameha was in the original, allowing them to escape their imprisonment and stop Pilaf from getting his wish. The Pilaf gang make their escape, and Broly is about to go after them, but Bulma tells Broly to let them go. They already have the Dragon Balls. Bulma summons Shenron and wishes for the love of her life to be brought to her, but Shenron says he can't do that. The being who's become the love of her life is far too powerful and cannot be transported against their will. He apologizes and asks if she has another wish. Bulma storms away in a rage, and Broly instantly asks Shenron if he can give him the 4 Star Dragon Ball. But once again, Shenron says he can't, as the Dragon Balls must scatter after a wish is made. Broly is upset at Bulma for not telling him this, and with a clear and
Yeah, bitch.
so he wishes for Shenron to send her home. Her wish granted before Broly could get too angry with her. With Bulma gone, Broly is back to square one. No, worse than square one. He's alone, nowhere near his home, and with no Dragon Ball to give him the comfort of his grandfather. But that's when it hits him, his grandfather. Broly remembers that the turtle hermit said that he knew his grandfather and offered to train him, so Broly gets on a flying nimbus and heads the direction Roshi left his turtle on the beach. Eventually,
This is all
coming across
triggered.
Roshi's
He's asked
island
like
and
14
Kame
times.
House. This
I
is
think
where
he
one
wants to come
final
back
change
after we
occurs in
go.
the story, Lack of Krillin. In this story, Krillin doesn't leave Orin Temple, dealing with the bullying of his seniors rather than going off on a perilous journey to some unknown island to train with a man who may only be a legend. This doesn't mean that Broly will train alone though, because Chi-Chi joins him on the island, being told about Master Roshi by her father, who trained with Grandpa Gohan years ago. This was the interest Chi-Chi took in Broly. After seeing what he was capable of on Fire Mountain, she sought to grow stronger. Roshi accepts both with open arms, excited to see what the future of martial arts can bring, and as a favor to his disciples from so long ago. So training begins, and it's immediately clear to Roshi that his normal training would be far too easy for Broly, so he increases the weight of Broly's shell and continues to increase it daily in order to make it somewhat of a challenge for him. Roshi himself even partakes in an intensive secret training while he has Turtle monitor his two students. If he wants to keep Broly interested in martial arts, he'd have to show him that not everyone is far below his power. After 8 months, the Tenkaichi Budokai is here, and Roshi enters under the alias of Jackie Chun, while Chi-Chi and Broly enter under their own names, of course. All three easily make their way through the tournament, with the only challenges being each other. Due to his secret training, Roshi is able to take out Chi-Chi in the semifinals, leaving the final match as Broly versus Jackie Chun. With no tail, Broly doesn't transform into a Nozaru, but Roshi is still forced to use his buff form in order to keep up with Broly at all. The two fight it out until eventually Roshi's stamina gives out and Broly secures his first tournament win. After the tournament, Broly finds Bulma again. The two do make amends, and Bulma is profusely sorry for how she treated Broly and happily gives him the Dragon Radar to go and collect his grandfather's 4-star ball. From here, the Red Ribbon Army arc is basically just easy mode due to Broly being completely overpowered, so just take any fight Goku had trouble with and say that there wasn't an issue in this version. Tao Pai Pai still manages to kill Upa's father, Bora, but the assassin is immediately killed afterwards by Broly, who is just innately stronger than him without requiring special training. This leads to Broly wanting all the Dragon Balls so he can revive Bora, so he takes on the rest of the army with no issues, and this leads him to Fortune Teller Baba, where he has to compete in her tournament. Broly takes on all of her combatants by himself, eventually leading to his reunion with Grandpa Gohan. This moment is heartfelt and full of emotion. Grandpa Gohan spends his remaining time chatting with Broly.
Fuck you.
Princess's death, and Broly just tells him everything. After hearing about Roshi in the tournament, Grandpa Gohan tells Broly to travel the world for the next 3 years to gain more power and mastery. Once 3 years pass, he should return to hold his title at the tournament. Broly agrees, and as he does, it's Grandpa Gohan's time to return to heaven, so they say their goodbyes and part ways. Broly retrieves the final Dragon Ball and makes the wish to revive Upa's father. With speed far greater than Goku's, he catches all 7 of the balls before they can fly away. Broly then takes the balls with him on his journey around the world. Broly arrives at the tournament 3 years later, now 20 years old and fully grown, and is wearing a Turtle School uniform that he had gotten made for him on his journey. This tournament is once again a joke, and Tenshinhan is beaten so badly that he goes on to in search of new ways to grow stronger that are outside of traditional training. Perhaps he even climbs a certain tower to meet with a certain grandmaster. After the tournament, Roshi Chi congratulated him on another victory. Broly forgets his stuff in the tournament building, so Chi-Chi goes back to get it for him, only to be ambushed and killed by Tambourine, who was after the Dragon Balls Broly had in his possession. After realizing that Chi-Chi was taking away too long, Broly goes back to
He got me.
Chi-Chi's
He got me. Pass up again.
He asked the tournament announcer who did this, and all he could do was point in the direction the monster who did it flew off in. With no Dragon Radar due to it being stolen as well, Broly gets ready to fly in that direction, but not before painfully transforming into a Hikari form. Without even thinking, Broly figures out the plan.
Ah, what are you doing? I'm guy food. Ah.
For him, though, Broly quickly kills Tambourine in a single attack, and then looks at the man who is, of course, King Piccolo. King Piccolo has wished for his youth back and killed Shenron, mocking Broly for being unable to save his pathetic friend. Despite Broly's imposing presence, he still thinks he can take the young Saiyan. This isn't true though, and Broly is not in the mood to be mocked. He kills Piccolo with ease, not before the Demon King is able to spit up an egg before succumbing to his injuries though. This leads to a period of depression for Broly where he goes into isolation, feeling like a failure for letting Chi-Chi be killed and having to leave her. It's a 3-year-long isolation, but eventually Kami enters Broly's mind and tells him that Chi-Chi is alive and well. Broly doesn't believe him, but Kami explains that he's the one who created the Dragon Balls, and Master Roshi did everything within his power to revive his student. That's right, during the 3-year time skip, Roshi trained with Master Karin and Ten Shinhan, so he would be
I got you, motherfucker!
with Kami to restore Shenron, and Kami eventually gives in, knowing they'll need everyone they can get for the reincarnation of the Demon King Piccolo. Kami tells Broly that if he wishes to
Go back
see his
in, bitch.
companions again,
I'll
he should
forget
enter
again,
the
boy.
tournament and defeat Piccolo Jr. Broly
Come
agrees
back again,
without a
that's a
second
whole
thought.
piece.
So everyone reunites at the tournament. Roshi, Chi-Chi, and even Bulma, who helped Roshi track the Dragon Balls, were there.
Yeah.
Tenshinhan showed up as well,
Ah,
having left Karin's power. He did, and training under
Okay,
Kami
dude.
while Roshi searched for the Dragon
Everything,
Balls.
bitch.
Everyone
I
is
see you
happy to
too.
be reunited, but it's short-lived for Broly.
Oh, fucker!
Presence unlike any he's ever felt before was shaking him to his core. It's none other than Piccolo Jr., who tapped into his own potential while training for 3 years, a sole goal of surpassing Broly in mind. In Broly's isolation and depression, he was very introspective and became more attuned with the world around him. Through his own natural talent, he learned to
You guys are coming after. Let's go, bitch! Oh, where you go? There you go! Let's go! Yeah, motherfucker! Yeah!
Semifinals. Chi-Chi trained to be a good rival for Broly, but he was still able to beat her. This was
Get the fuck out of here! Get the fuck out of here!
Tenshinhan is equally impressive, but is simply no match for a Piccolo that prepared to fight Ikari Broly. This leaves us with Broly versus Piccolo as the final match of the tournament. Piccolo had tried his best to prepare for the power of Ikari form, but he fell considerably short of that goal. However, it was clear to Piccolo that this Broly didn't have that power. Without it, Broly stood no chance. Just to be clear, Dragon Ball characters get stronger based on their goals. Think of the Saiyan Saga as a clear example of this. Human characters doing training from the arc prior exceed Raditz just because he's the goal they want to overcome. Piccolo is enjoying the pummeling, but eventually he tells Broly that it's time for him to die. This was a pathetic display, even more pathetic than his friend's death. That was the wrong thing to say. Broly's power begins to spike, and he transforms into the Ikari form once again. Even with a weaker base form, this is more than enough to beat Piccolo. After being declared the winner of the tournament, Broly doesn't stop there, since his rage doesn't subside, and he kills the Demon King once and for all. With Piccolo killed, his ki begins to fade, but at the same time, Broly can feel another power disappearing. Kami's ki begins to fade as he dies as well. Seemingly out of nowhere, Mr. Popo appears in front of Broly. He introduces himself as the esteemed god and tells Broly what Kami's final wish was. He wanted Broly to take over as the god of Earth. However, Broly doesn't want that position, and instead recommends Master Roshi. The immortal Grand Master of martial arts is a far better candidate for the position of god than a man who can't control his own selfish rage. With Roshi being stronger than in the original series, and by extension rivaling the power Kami had before his death, Popo actually agrees that Roshi makes sense as the new god of Earth. Roshi is humbled by the offer and graciously accepts, seeing himself as better suited to help the world this way, and perhaps even become more virtuous like his students. So Roshi hops on Popo's magic carpet, but before they fly to the lookout, Popo tells Broly and Chi-Chi that with Kami gone, the Dragon Balls will remain stone unless someone will help Kami or activate them. Roshi will not be able to fulfill that role. With all that said and done, everyone goes their separate ways. Broly and Chi-Chi decide to train together back at Mount Paozu, so they build a home and spend the next 4 years training together. Meanwhile, Vegeta, Nappa, and Raditz are conquering a planet together for Frieza. But once they're done, Vegeta tells the other two to turn off their scouters so Frieza's men can't listen in on them. He tells the other two that he picked this planet to conquer on purpose, as it's close to a fairly worthless planet called Earth. As a boy, Jan's father told him a story as a way to teach him. A story about how to handle disobedient underlings. He told Vegeta of the execution of Paragus and the exile of Broly. Vegeta didn't care